Welcome to another edition of the Willy Bragg Show. I hope everybody is doing well. I'm back. I've been on a short hiatus this past week. Anyway, I'm back and I decided to bring a guest. Andre, why don't you introduce yourself?
What's up, everybody? I'm Andre. Well, my real name is Andre Morton, but I call myself Andre X for short. I'm from the ATP Network. We started last year, and we still continue to grow every day.
Okay. Yeah, I've been watching the ATP network. I guess maybe the last 7 to 8 months, and I like to work you and Tired Peasants and the Left Independent, what y'all are doing and what you have to say, and I've seen the channel grow. So congratulations, and I hope ATP Network grow even further.
Oh, appreciate it, man. And also, I want to give a big shout out to Mike, Left Independent. Like, yeah, man. I wanted to add people to the network over the past year. Man, I can't believe it almost been a year since we started this, but yeah, man, we went through so many people. I'm not, I'll tell you behind the scenes about, the drama and stuff. It's always drama with
There's
having
always
networks,
drama.
etc. Yeah, behind the scenes, privately, I talk to you about what all would happen one day. But yeah, man, Mike, he's the latest addition to the network, and and Mike, he's like an educator, so he brings that educational vibe to the network, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, man, like big shout out to him.
Yeah, as I said, I enjoy the content that's on the network. I enjoy everybody's content on Twitter. I did name Twitter. It's not. I never call it X. So um,
Yeah,
yeah. So and all of that. So and as I said, we need as many independent voices out there because I can't believe people will sit there and listen to corporate media, no matter where it comes from, whether it comes from Fox News or whether it comes from CNN or MSNBC, and think, my goodness, this is actual real information. I mean, I you have to get it from elsewhere, and people who vote for the duopoly. I mean, I've been in and out of the Democratic Party for years, and I made my final break when I realized Bernie and AOC can't really, even if they wanted to do what we want them to do, and maybe they do, maybe the fact is that they're inside an organization that opposes them. So what's the use to work inside the Democratic Party? You have to kind of work outside, from my point of view. And I love listening to like-minded content makers that talk about resisting the duopoly.
yeah. About ALC, yeah. Even though ALC wasn't in my district, I still donated to her. I supported her. I liked her. Like the first time I heard about her was on Glenn Greenwald's channel, and I thought she was there. I like, yeah, we need somebody that's an outsider. Nobody that's corporate. And I supported Bernie Sanders in 2020, in 2016. But after 2020, I said, you know what, like this Democratic Party isn't going to change. So I voted, for I forgot that man name, Howie Hawkins in 2020, and ever since then, my politics kept moving more and more further to the left. Shout out to Rome or RBN. He was really the one that radicalized me to become, way further to the left. Um, and yeah, yeah. Man, today on Fox News, I know I'm getting off topic. I seen this in the gym. I seen this infographic saying that riders are burning the U.S. flag and spitting on it. And I tweeted today. I said, "Good, keep it going." You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Like, see, Fox News, CNN, and MSNBC all play a part. Like, people don't really understand that. Like, Fox News is for the culture war bullshit. You know what I mean? Then you got MSNBC and CNN. They're more for the liberals. You know what I mean? Like, they all play a part. So
Yeah, I see. This is how I see them. I see Fox, Newsmax as like the culture war. It's like everything I despise about conservatism. The culture war,
yeah,
Christian right type of politics,
Yeah.
the neoconservative, let's go and attack every Middle Eastern country. And they claim that they're anti-war, some of them. And maybe you might have the occasional libertarian voice here and there that might be, but when a lot of them were kind of correct in Biden administration on the Ukraine, like let's keep out of it. As soon as October 7th happened, that Bush Cheney neoconservatism came right back in, and Donald Trump is basically trying to be Bush and Cheney but with bad manners.
Exactly.
CNN is basically, in the 1990s they call it the Clinton News Network. That's basically how I view CNN. I haven't really watched it in 30 years. And MSNBC are basically kind of like your better Democrats, but they still don't get it at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. Yeah, man. It's like my auntie and my uncle watch that shit all the time, and I'm like, it's so much better options you can watch. I mean, they know how to use YouTube. Like, maybe watch RBN, maybe watch Willy Bragg. But watch you or watch, shit, even us, ATP Network. Like, it's something that gives you a different perspective, because all these corporate media just gives you propagandized bullshit from the State Department. Like, that's all they give
Mm-hmm.
you. You know what I mean? So,
And
so yeah.
independent media, some of the bigger names. I mean, in a way, I owe them a little bit of gratitude because they provided an opportunity for people like us to do our thing currently. But they have kind of fallen short themselves. We're talking about TYTs and
Oh yeah,
Nam
yeah,
Cedars and all that. And I was into that for a while.
yeah.
The last big one name I was listening to loyally was Kyle Kalinske, and he's been kind of
Oh
he
yeah,
still is correct on some things, but it's the blue
yeah,
MAGA I can't take from Kyle.
yeah. Same here, man. Like, out of all of those PMCs, man, like Kyle Kalinske was the last like resort. But yeah, when he kept defending Biden, especially after the 2020 election, like, oh, Biden doing good things here, going good things there, then I'm like, but dude, like, you just come from supporting Bernie Sanders. Like, people don't know Kyle Kalinske was one of the biggest Bernie Sanders supporters at the time.
He was
To
the Bernie
now
bro.
saying, yeah, a Bernie bro. Now saying Biden is doing this, doing that, doing this little incrementalism shit. Like, come on, dude. Like, yeah, I listen to Cal Kalinske a little bit from time to time, but yeah, man, like, Ron Pacone said something that was very interesting too. I listened to his podcast. He said that, like, independent media, especially on the left, like, we had, like, it had a missed opportunity to be something great. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm saying, like, but you do have your diamonds in the rough, like Savvy Sabs. She doing her thing. Us. We doing our thing.
Right.
But the PMCs, they have a bigger following. They can reach more people, and it's like, to me, watching TYT and Sam Cedar, I might as well watch MSNBC. You know what I mean? So
Maybe
yeah,
a slightly better, MSNBC, but still not. I mean, they're I mean, they always supported the Democrats, but
yeah,
they were a little more at one time. They were prior to, I would say maybe prior to Bernie's second try, they were a little more defiant to the Democratic Party apparatus than they are now. Now they still say the right things, but they want people to be like, well, maybe we need to support them at the end of the day, but be very loud about how we object to this, and that. Well, the problem with with the left that are adjacent to the Democratic Party is that they don't know how to really stand up against the corporate Democrats. I don't like Matt Gaetz. I don't like the Anti-Freedom Caucus. That's what I call them. I don't like
yeah,
those guys, but I ended up not liking Matt Gaetz. But for this reason, I will respect him. He was taking note when this force to vote thing was going on,
Oh yeah,
early
yeah.
21,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, they didn't try it against Nancy Pelosi, but maybe when the Republicans take over, we'll try it against Kevin McCarthy, and they did, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
Yeah,
totally agree. Yeah. I mean, speaking of missed opportunities, I mean, forced to vote happened. Like the squad, all of them should have jumped on that. Like that would have changed. I think forced to vote would have changed the political landscape when it comes to Medicare for all. But I guess Nancy Pelosi must have threatened ALC in the squad, saying they're gonna lose their seat, so they just failed. They just bend the knee to him, unfortunately. You know,
I
so
think that even if they would have punished the squad for this, and they would
yeah,
have lost their congressional seat, I think that they would have probably been able to get their seats back. I think that
yeah,
they I think that they could have I think that they could have really, honestly, the Democratic Party needs a civil war inside. They do. I mean, I don't want to sit there and be kumbaya with Hillary Clinton and Joe Manchin and all of those folks. I don't want to be kumbaya. They're my enemy. Nancy
mm-hmm,
Pelosi's my enemy. They're as much my enemy as Marjorie Taylor Greene or whoever, Mitch McConnell. They're all my enemy equally.
yep,
Yeah,
that's true, that's true.
yeah. I just rely on independent politics. Right now, where do you stand on Kashama Sawant? She's running for the 9th congressional district in Washington State.
I think she has a great chance. Shamasa want like she's a hard she's a hard worker. Like she she was city council of Seattle, and she got $15 minimum wage pass, which is hard. Well, it was hard at the time. Like now we know $15 an hour in 2025. Like come on, it needs to be at least $30 an hour. But she got so
Yeah,
much stuff done, and I think she'll win unless big money. You know how it is, Willie. Big money infiltration. Yeah, but I
yeah.
think she has a good shot.
The thing is, if she happens to win that congressional seat, I
Yeah.
mean, if um, she'd be more the heir to Bernie Sanders. What was good about Bernie Sanders than
Oh yeah.
AOC would, because
Yeah.
I mean, I do think she will fight. I mean, she seems like she's willing to take up a fight whenever. Whereas AOC, she folds up like a lawn chair.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And people want ALC to run for president. I mean, like she ain't gonna do nothing but fold, like you said, fold like a lunch chair. She gonna do whatever the DNC, the Democratic establishment, tell her to do. Like, come on. Like that's the best you can get, ALC for president. Like, yeah, man.
well, she's not going to be president. She's going to
Oh
get
yeah.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I've said this. I've said this before. I think that the Democrats would give the nomination to Liz Cheney before they
Oh
allow.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the Democratic Party right there.
Exactly. Like, yeah, and then you heard what Jack McCracken said. Like, hey, they want a white man to be run as a Democratic nominee. So that tells you right there, hey, they're not going to pick ALC. They might pick Pete Buttigieg, which is, oh god,
I
don't
don't
get me
think they're
sick.
going to pick Pete Buttigieg either,
Oh, you don't think
because
so?
yeah, Savvy Savs talked about that. Why she had her doubts about Pete Buttigieg, and just I mean, there's strangely enough, there's a lot of social conservatism, with the Democratic Party. I'm talking about the mainstream of the Democratic Party, and not specifically the left wing, but there is probably enough that they may not hate a gay man, but they're going to be nervous. I'm not. I voted for a gay candidate for president in the past, but I know that people out there would be like, some people will be like, oh, I don't know. So, and
Yeah,
they may
that's a
be
good
willing to
point.
vote for a governor or a congressman that's gay, but I don't think that they will vote. And I think that's why he will not get the nomination. And so, which is bad because if you're good for the job, you're qualified for the job, um, and you got the right policies. Hey, that's where you go. But AOC's got great policies. She doesn't have the wherewithal to fight.
Yeah.
Um, Pete Buttigieg might have check all the boxes in a lot of ways, speaking 7 languages. Yeah, and he's kind of charming in his way and all that, and he's not dumb. But he was not exactly the greatest transportation secretary ever either.
Oh, he was terrible. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
terrible. Yeah.
So I don't think that on policy I just could not support Pete Buttigieg. To me, if you can't support single payer, there's no conversation to be had with a candidate.
Yeah, yeah, I remember his healthcare plan. Like it was really
Hmm.
nothing but tied to Cigna, I think. So I'm like, yeah, man, like we don't want it tied to private health insurance. Come on. But
Yeah.
okay, you think they'll pick Gavin Newsom, somebody more like that?
Um. If the wildfires did not take place, probably. I don't think he's going to be the one either.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Okay.
Yes, it's just my view. And we may see somebody that we don't even think of right now. There's probably some governor or some senator somewhere, or
Yeah.
that may be that may decide to run, and we may see somebody that we never thought of. When Obama got threw his hat in the ring in 2008. I didn't think he was going to get the nomination. I thought
Neither.
it was going to be Hillary Clinton, and
Me too.
I figured in 2008 she was going to be president. But
Yeah.
I think in his case it was kind of accidental because I think he was testing for 2012 or 2016. That's what I think he was doing,
I agree.
and I think that people were a little nervous about the baggage that the Clintons had, and yes, Obama is better. Will always be better than Hillary Clinton, which not the great. It wasn't that great of a
Yeah.
president.
Yeah,
But
that's something right there in Willie.
yeah, but if I to tell
Yeah.
me which would I prefer, still to this day I would say, well, Obama is going to be better than Hillary. Yeah, anything is going to be better than Hillary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hillary. Yeah, yeah, man, there's a lot I can really say about Hillary Clinton. But
Mhm.
and then with all that, I voted for her in 2016. Like that's when I was still a Democrat at the time
Yeah.
because I was fooled into thinking, oh, Trump bad, Trump this, Trump that. I'm like, I mean, one thing I guess as you get older and once you start to understand how the system works within a duopoly, you start to realize like, holy shit, these people are the same. You know what I mean? Like they just one uses identity politics, and then the other one, Red MAGA, they more outward with their, with their homophobic, xenophobic. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah,
With identity politics, there's identity politics, which is positive, and then got the like when it comes to identity politics, you know, when when it's weaponized, and I noticed that in the Democratic Party, it ends up being weaponized against the left, and
right,
when it comes to identity politics, when you argue for reparations, 100%. You argue against the death penalty, 100%, because the death penalty discriminates on the basis of race and class too.
right,
So yeah, yeah, and so just there are times, and I will argue that all leftists are at some point class reductionists in the sense that it is a class war overall. Um, and and the American people, people that we agree with, people that we even despise, are getting the rough end of the class war because you know we're seeing income inequality just encroach, and we're in the second gilded age. It seems like now.
Yeah, I tweeted about that. I said it feel like every day America is going back further and further to the Gilded Ages. When
Yeah.
you think at this point, like we'll be so advanced, we'll be surpassed all of the the racism, the homophobia. Like I can't believe it's 2025 and people are still debating whether same-sex marriage should be legalized. Like it just like sometimes I wake up and like what the hell? Like I thought we surpassed that. Like this ain't 2004, 2005. Like, but I mean,
The positive news about that, though, is that
yeah,
even if the Supreme Court throws out the Ogleville ruling from 2015, it is already codified international law last
yeah,
year. Yeah, and it was bipartisan. One of the few times I've seen people do the little kumbaya, and it turned out to be positive. So I'm glad. I'm glad that the what's it called, Respect for Marriage Act. I think
yeah,
that's what it's called. Um, I'm glad it is now the law of the land. They should have done the same thing with Roe versus Wade a long time
yeah,
ago. Yeah.
yeah, man. Like I can't believe that you had the Democrats had 50 years, well, a little over 50 years to codify Roe v. Wade into law, but Obama made an excuse saying that it's not the priority when he said that was the first thing he was going to sign into law. Then you had Joe Biden. He still had time. He had a slim majority in the House and Senate. Could have codified it, but to me, it's like one thing too with the Democratic Party that infuriates me is that they like to take Roe v. Wade and other little things and just run off of it, just to campaign off of it, instead
Hmm.
of actually doing things, like actually signing shit into law. You know what I mean?
Well, when they overturned Roe versus Wade, I came up with this theory. On the surface, Republicans were happy, but they really weren't because um, that red wave that was supposed to take place for them in 2022 turned into just a faint little splash, like a little sprinkle. And
Yeah,
because America is a very conservative country, Overton window wise, but they thought, I think even a lot of conservatives are thinking that's just a little bit too much government encroachment to outlaw reproductive rights. So they're willing to put up with a bunch of other right wing bullshit, but I think that's the I'm trying to use the right term. I guess that's I'm gonna. It's probably the wrong reference, but that's the holy grail of American politics that they're not willing to quite embrace. And I think that the Democrats who pretended to be so upset, like Elizabeth Warren and all of that,
yeah,
they had an issue to go, and they were glad because Nancy Pelosi was thinking, now these people on the left can shut up about Medicare for all and raising the minimum wage and expanding union rights, and we could use this issue here. So
yep. I
Democrats and
agree.
Republicans, they love the culture war. They love it.
They love it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, yeah, man. Like, yeah, like I said, like they don't want to pass Medicare for all. They don't want to they don't want to codify Roe v. Wade. They just want to just
Yeah.
campaign off of it. You know, just the Overton window. You know what I mean? I'm probably using the wrong terminology, but
No, that's the correct term. The overtone. They.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. So yeah, man. Like, yeah, you know, even like to be honest with you, I think the Democratic Party is done like winning elections for a long time because I think they lost most of their base. As you can see with the war, like with the genocide in Gaza, like they have no platform to run on. Like Bernie Sanders, to his credit, gives them platforms to run on, but they don't like Bernie Sanders, even though he still campaigns for them and talks about them in a good light, which is crazy. But like they don't have no platform, and then on top of that, it's just like I think to me, even though people don't like the Republican Party either, let's just keep it 100. Like most of our older people are mostly conservative, so they will be the ones to keep the Republicans in power, maybe until one day, assuming, I hope not. I hope a third party will take over, but the Democrats will grow a spine, I guess, and you know what I mean, and decide to, yeah, let's run on a platform, or go back to the Obama playbook. Like that's crazy. Like Obama won basically saying hope and change.
Yeah.
Like really not that long ago, Obama ran and won. So I just had to say that too as well.
Yeah, the thing about it is that what's weird about the Trump victory in November, some of these folks that voted for Trump still have positive vibes about Obama.
There you
Yeah,
go. There you
yeah,
go. See what I'm saying? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And
and
I just, there was a lot of people who were, I guess, kind of middle of the ground that they just, because the Democrats, they don't know how to govern when they have the power. I mean, when they're too afraid to. And even, and okay, I'm going to mention Kyle Kalinske here. He is correct when he said this, that when the Democrats do good things, they're very quiet about it, because there's this notion since Reagan that if you promote big government too much, that you're going to get lambasted. So they're kind of quiet about the good things they do, and then they get goofy and defensive on other issues, and then they get their asses kicked.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 100%. Like when you want to promote the good things you have done, like people's attention span is small as a mustard seed. So if you want to keep winning, talk about the good stuff you have done. But they, it's like the ratchet effect. It's like when the Republicans win, the Democrats saying, "Oh, we need to maybe be more hawkish on the border, or more hawkish on trans rights and all that stuff." Like,
Mm-hmm.
no, that's not how you do it. Like, and I'm not even a Democrat. I'm giving these people advice. It's like, no, that's not how you do it. You
We
gotta,
know how to
you
run the
gotta fight.
Democratic Party than the Democratic Party themselves. That's the thing.
Exactly, exactly. Like, come on, like, I hate to use
Well,
the terminology, but
think
well, you
about
can
it
go
this
ahead.
way: in the 1930s, during the Depression, the Democrats didn't just give us the New Deal because that he thought this was just a great idea. It was an outside movement that brought this. Socialist Party of America, the Communist Party USA, kind of ideologically they have some differences, but they were able to influence the Democrats to pass New Deal legislation because it was their ideas.
Right.
And so when people tell me that third parties are a waste of time, it is not a waste of time. When you
No.
look at the labor movement and what they have done, and you look at the civil rights movement, and any movement that's a liberation movement, um, as I mean, at first the two parties dismissed them, and then eventually, the Democratic Party will find a way to co-opt it. So
True.
yeah,
Yeah, like the Green New Deal. That was a Green Party idea. In the
yeah, it was.
the
Yeah.
yeah, and Bernie Sanders and the Democrats co-opted that. So yeah, I'm saying yeah, like and this is why I be like kind of frustrated with the Green Party too. On one issue is that look, I get it. The system is pinned against you. Like it's harder for you. Like you probably know this, but the Green Party, it was hard for them to access their federal funding. Even though
Mm-hmm.
they hit 5%. Yeah, you know about that. But again, it's like you need to like go into other communities, like the black communities. Mike talked about this, like um like a lot, like more people should know about the Green Party than they do now. Like I be at work sometime, and I ask, man, do you know any third parties? And they say no. Now I talk to them about the Green Party. Then once we leave, then they know who the Green Party is. Like you know, I I'm not a Green Party member yet, but I'm a registered independent. But I caucus with the Green Party. If you get what I'm saying, and I'm trying to like bring more. Maybe I need to talk about this more on my channel too as well. Talking about hey there's other options out there because people still think it's two choices, which is not
Right.
true. I wish it was more like the other countries and have multiple parties. Like, man, I'm so jealous of other countries, man. Like, you got, the Liberal Party in Canada, for example, the Conservative Party, like the Union Party. Like, we need that in America. But
Yeah. Even the UK with its problems that they have, and they have a first past post system like we do, they
yeah,
still manage. They still manage to have more than just two parties. It's kind of
I
like a
know.
2.5 party system, but even with that, they're like you get somebody from the. I don't think they have a Green in the Parliament in the UK, but you'll get somebody from the Cooperative Party, the Scottish National Party, or whatever that's in the House of Commons, and I take that over what we got over here. To tell you the
Oh
truth,
hell yeah! Oh hell yeah,
yeah, yeah.
man!
So
Like the founding fathers, to their credit, like they didn't want they wanted a system like that. They really didn't want to focus on parties, but you know, like, but I have a question for you though, Willie. Like, how did we get to a two-party system? Like,
oh, I got the answer. I got the
okay,
historical answer. The New Deal. The various states, the two parties that I said that were influenced FDR's New Deal were the Socialist Party of America and the Communist Party USA. In the
okay,
1930s, the Socialist Party had a little bit more potential to get into being something where I would say akin to this new Democratic Party of Canada, which is to the left of the Liberals. That would have been the spot they would have probably occupied, and they didn't like the competition. So, and there's a North Carolina connection to this. In 1932, Norman Thomas got 5,000 votes in North Carolina, a little over 5,000 votes. And what happened there was they got scared. North Carolina was one of the first states to start cracking down with the ballot access laws, and other states followed afterwards and driven a lot of the socialist movement out of electoral politics for the most part, and to the point where hardly anybody would get elected. You might have a city council here, there, a mayoral race here and there that once in a blue moon this happened to, but for the most part, we became like a toxic two-party state. And and in North Carolina's defense, in 2018, they did reform their ballot access laws to being still a little steep, but way more reasonable than it's been for decades. So the Green Party's on the ballot, for example. I'm not a dues paying member of the Green Party. I have a concept of a party that I would love to be a member of if it can actually be. So the Green Party comes closest to my views. So therefore, I'm a registered Green. If that
yeah,
makes any sense.
yeah, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I see why that makes sense.
But
Yeah, but yeah,
on my show, I don't necessarily tell people you must 100% support the Green Party. I mean, I try to keep it as nonpartisan as possible, but
yeah,
I do let people know that I hate the two party system. If that makes any sense as well.
yeah. That's how I feel too. That's what I do too. I remember ATP Network, me and Liz, and another guy we had on the network at the time. We did election night, and we kept telling people like, "Hey, we're not telling you to vote green, or we're not telling you to vote PSL, or but but just be advised, like, no matter who wins, we're still fucked." You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
even you staying at home and not voting, like, like a protest vote. Like, I have no problem with that because we all know that that the two party system is corrupt, no matter who wins, or so yeah. Not now. On election night, I thought Kamala was gonna win. I didn't vote for Kamala, but I thought she was gonna win. But I mean, what was your thoughts on election night?
It was a coin flip. It was a coin flip because I voted for Joe Stein, as I
Me
did in
too.
2016, and I voted for Howie Hawkins in 2020. I had voted third party for president starting in 1996 for Ralph Nader. So I just, as a general rule, I have voted for third parties for president, and in lower offices, it depends on an individual Democrat. If they're like left wing enough, I may support that Democrat. Otherwise, I would leave it blanket. There's no other third party choice. And if the Libertarian is not running on the bad parts of the Libertarian movement, like if they're not praising capitalism to the sky, I know they do. That's what they are.
Yeah.
But they're talking about ending the wars and legalizing drugs and criticizing American foreign policy. I'll give them a second look, but I got a lot of problems with libertarians. But
Same here.
Election night and leading to the election, I thought it was a coin flip, really,
Okay.
and there was nothing that was going to stop me from voting third party, which I did.
Me too.
I voted
Me too.
for. I think. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think there was 3 people on the ballot that I voted for, and every one of them were the Green candidates, and everything else I left blank. And I covered it live while it was
Me too. Yeah.
and it was an interesting night. Had a couple of people on the show and all of that, and as I said, it was an interesting evening, and just like no matter who was going to win, I know we were going to be fucked. Both parties did not talk about single payer health care. Both parties, they accuse each other. Trump can accuse Kamala Harris, whose husband is a flaming Zionist, accuse her of being pro Hamas and what have you. But the Democratic Party's just as bad on Israel as the Republicans. So it was just there was no choice to vote third party.
It wasn't. It wasn't no choice. What was shocking to me was that Jill Stein didn't reach 5%. I thought this was gonna be the election where she
Me
was
too.
gonna.
That was going to happen.
I'm like, man, she came up short. I don't even think she hit 1%. I think it was 739,000. I remember the number.
I thought with Michigan alone, that could actually help with the, because Michigan has the highest Arab population. And when I tell people that, I said, look, Arab does not always mean Muslim. Yeah, mostly Muslim, but they're Christian Arabs too. But
Exactly,
you'd be surprised. Well, you wouldn't be surprised. We know this, how people are in this country.
Yeah. Ever since 9/11, like people's perceptions on on Muslim has been
But Christian Arabs and Islamic Arabs have this in common, that they both are not too keen on Zionism, and has nothing to do. I tell people it has nothing to do with hating Jewish people, and I don't tolerate anti-Jewish hatred, but I don't tolerate what Netanyahu's doing either.
exactly.
And, yeah, so I love this example, and somebody came up with this example when Saudi Arabia was committing a genocide on Yemen. Criticizing Saudi Arabia make you anti-Muslim? No, So criticizing Israel for the treatment of Palestinians in Gaza will not make you anti-Jewish.
Exactly.
Yeah. What are you saying on Greta Thunberg? What happened to her?
Oh man, like to be honest with you, man, like what they did was very like man that gave me chills because like Greta Thunberg when she speaks like you can tell she's speaking from the heart. And her and those other people on the flotilla, I kind of knew that Israel was gonna pull some tricks. I just now found out today that there've been multiple attempts to send humanitarian aid to Gaza, but Israel has unalived the people that attempted to.
Yeah.
So I thought that they was going to do the same thing to them, but fortunately, as we know right now, they're still alive. They're in Javia prison. I'm probably getting the name wrong. Um, but yeah, Greta Thunberg, man, she's full of love, man. Like I said on Twitter, you probably saw like we need if we had a million Romes, the
Mhm.
world be a better place. If we had a million Greta Thunbergs, we'd be in a better place too as well. Like those
Absolutely.
people, like those people in particular, man. Like when they speak, you listen. You actually listen to what they say, and they actually motivate you to do good things. Like mutual aid. Like I didn't know what mutual aid was until Rome. And I only talked about it, but he started doing. I mean, he been doing it. You know what I mean? Same with Greta Thunberg. Like what she was doing was mutual aid. Her and the other people.
Yeah,
So
and Rome does just not talk the talk; he walks the walk. He's got the receipts to show what he's done. And yes, we need more Romes out there. We really do. Um, and we need more people who are not as well known that do this. We need more of everybody doing similar action, and mutual aid. If we can have mutual aid on a national level, that you could have a general strike, and you're not going to go hungry or homeless because of it. How wonderful that could be. And I think a general strike is probably one of the biggest things the United States need to do right now. You know, I know my friend Warren, right? Extra
yeah.
bullet. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
He did a commentary. On the election, on election night, and basically he was saying that Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will not solve our problems, and what will solve the
Yeah.
problems is us. We need to just get together and shut it down. A general strike is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. And also too, I thought about this too as well for a while. I said, I think a general strike is the last nonviolent effort before an actual, uprising happens. What you think about that?
And I don't want it to be. Here's the thing. I want it.
Yeah.
If we're going to have a revolution, I want it to be like the Carnation Revolution of Portugal, where people. It was a general strike. It was a
Right.
general strike led by the military, and the people joined in, and they shut down the Europe's last fascist government at that time. A softer
Right.
fascist than Mussolini and Hitler, obviously, but it was
Yeah.
still an authoritative government, and that's what I would like to see. But you know, you keep attacking workers and attacking, doing these raids, and and I don't want to see it happen, but there's going to be a reaction if there's too much violence committed against the American people.
Yeah.
It's going to be a reaction, you
Yeah.
know?
Um. Yeah. Like, I'm with you. I don't want a violent revolution either, but it's so long. It's so long that you could sustain getting suppressed. I mean, keep. What I mean. With
And it's
I'm
been a
trying to think of.
bipartisan march toward fascism.
Yeah.
Trump is just the ugly face of it right now with some of his over the
Yeah.
top rhetoric and all of that. But
Yeah.
you put in something polite like a Marco Rubio or even Ron DeSantis, who I can't stand.
Oh
Yeah,
lordy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's something that's more normal for American people. It's still fascism. You give it to us in the form of
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a Democrat, a Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi. It's still they have their own type of fascism. So it's a bipartisan. They may not favor the same fascist approach, but both parties offer some form of authoritarianism.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right, man. Like, yeah, like Joe Biden, like still deporting. He deported more migrants than Donald Trump. And obviously now you see what Donald Trump is doing. He's deporting them, but he's doing it. He's saying it out loud. Joe Biden them did it, secretively in a way.
Yeah.
Just like Obama, who built those cages. Barack Obama.
They were
Trump, he was
Obama
in the cages.
initially. Yep.
Yeah.
And
So
notice how AOC stopped crying when it became Biden cages.
yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Like when I saw that picture, even at that time, I'm like, I don't know, this sounds kind of suspect. Like her makeup, is too fucking perfect, man.
Yeah.
Like you out in the desert and you crying, like your makeup too perfect. Like yeah, that was a photo op, man.
I
Telling
said to myself at that time, she's like, "Oh God, she's such an actress."
you.
Even when she was
Yeah,
getting
man.
arrested at that, at the
Oh yeah.
yeah, she to put her arms behind her like that, looking like she got arrested, and she
No
had no
handcuffs.
pants on.
No handcuffs. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I
Uh,
can't. I said to myself, I said, I can't believe I supported this woman. Like, she's such a man. Like they said, a fraud
she's
squad, man.
she's
Oh my
charming.
god.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to defend her in that she's charming.
Yeah.
She's attractive, and and she has a way to kind of make you feel some empathy toward her. And
Yeah.
I think that's basically what's worked for her, because when she came into the scene, the squad came into the scene, the cameras were always on AOC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
follow her around like
Yeah.
a paparazzi.
Yeah. Yeah. And they made it about ALC. She
Mhm.
was in the New Yorker. Uh. Yeah. Like I remember CNN did a No, remember Netflix did a documentary on them on the squad. I think it was Netflix. I forgot, but yeah, they made it about mostly it was about ALC how she won. They talked about Corey Bush a little bit and that other woman too in West Virginia. I forgot her name, but she lost I think to that man. I forget. I forgot.
I know the original was AOC, AOC, Corey Bush. No, was
Ilhan Omar.
Ilhan
Um,
Omar.
who else?
Yeah, it was Ilhan Omar, AOC, Ayanna Presley, and Rashida Tlaib. Those are the original.
Yeah.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
Corey.
The woman that lost was Paula Jean Swearengin. Remember she was running against damn I forgot the dude name in West Virginia. Remember she lost to him in
Yeah,
2020.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
So and just I mean, I was so hopeful when the squad came into the scene, and especially with AOC doing the little sit in at Nancy Pelosi's office. I was just like,
yeah.
hot damn, this is what we need here.
Man, I
You know,
was excited. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wasn't even on Twitter I went on Twitter much of the time, but I said to myself like, damn, this is based as fuck.
yeah.
I'm like,
Well, I wasn't
yeah,
on Twitter as much as I was like, I go on Twitter back then like about once a month. And now I live on
yeah, me
Twitter.
too. Me too.
I'm just a shit.
Yeah. Hey, as they say, I'm chronically online. I guess I am.
You know, even in the middle of the night, you'll see me, and I work graveyard shift, so yeah, you'll see
Yeah,
me
me too.
tweeting. It's like, oh yeah, he's probably on his break.
Yeah, me too. Me
Yeah.
too. I be on. Yeah, I can't get sleep, so hey, I have to, you know, do something. Yeah.
Speaking of Twitter, since it's owned by Elon Musk, what do you think of the divorce between Donald Trump and Elon Musk?
Man, I said this. I said the Elon Musk and Trump beef is better than the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef, man. Like, oh my goodness. And then the fact that Elon said that shit on Twitter, he said, Trump is in the Epstein files. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, yeah, yeah, this shit got real, man. Then he deleted the tweet, by the way, which a coward, but yeah, man, that shit to me, Elon and Trump are two petulant children, and Elon he wanted the EV tax credit or whatnot, and he wanted a couple other things, and he just mad at Trump because Trump, I mean, they took it out of the big beautiful bill,
Yeah.
and I mean, yeah, I look at it as just two petulant children, like just art pointing at each other, um, you know, Elon not getting his way, and you know how Trump is, See, Trump one of the type of people where, like, as long as you kiss his ass, he loves you. But as soon as you cross him or smear him, he's done with you. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it.
Yeah, that's basically it. And the thing about it is that I know that there are Democrats talking about rehabilitating Elon Musk. I wish they wouldn't.
Oh no! Oh my God! Hey, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they try to take Elon Musk back. I wouldn't be surprised. That's how feckless, spineless,
Look what they did
corny
to
the
George
Democrats
W.
are.
Bush. George W. Bush. Michelle gave him a hug. Joe Biden gives him some freedom medal. And then Brianna Joy Gray said this last year on Katie Halper. She's like, instead of Kamala Harris asking Bernie Sanders to go, campaign for her, Kamala Harris ended up bumping fists with Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney.
Yeah, like that's like I say, like that's why you call them a duopoly. Like they behind the scenes they pretend like they opposition, but let's just keep it 100. Like behind the scenes, like they love each other, man. Like I mean, I should have known when Michelle Obama said that she was friends with a war criminal, George W. Bush. At that time, I think when she said that back in 2011, 2012, I'm like, you friends with a guy that got us into 2 illegal wars? Like, are you
A
kidding
million people
me?
died. I mean,
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, oh yeah, man. Like I should have known back then, but hey,
um,
you
when the assassination attempt happened last summer on Trump. Um, I watched the Tim Black podcast of that, and
yeah.
everything he predicted what was going to happen on election day, right down to the detail, it happened. Yeah, and because I mean, and he said it. He's like, we got a man, George W. Bush, who killed over 1 million people, and they're friends with him. And I don't want to make it sound like I'm saying anything nice about Trump, but Trump did not. I'm not going to say he didn't start any new wars, but he did not do the amount that George W. Bush and Dick Cheney did to the world at the time.
Right. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
what you're saying. Yeah.
yeah.
Remember
Oh, he
remember
did
he was
killing
yeah.
Qasem Soleimani in Baghdad in 2020. Yeah, fuck Trump. That's a war criminal act. Ripping up the Iran peace treaty, that was wrong. Putting
Yeah.
the embassy in Jerusalem. I mean, I could give you some foreign policy shit that Trump's did that I don't
Yeah, the
think.
Abraham Accords.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and of course what happened in Venezuela, declaring somebody the leader when Nicholas, what was his name?
Nicolas Maduro.
No, the person that Trump declared the president.
Oh,
Juan
damn.
Guaido, I think was his name, something like that.
One Guardio. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, one Guardio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So these things, when people will say you don't criticize Trump enough. I say no, Abby. I'll tell you everything I despise about Donald Trump.
Me
So
too. Me too. Like people say, like you always talk about the Democrats all the time. I'm like, yeah, because at least, like I always tell, my inner circle, I said at least the Republicans tell me what the fuck they gonna do, which they ain't gonna do shit for me. The Democrats, they always make empty promises they know they're not gonna keep. You see what I'm saying? Like, who are we mad with? Somebody that said they don't like me, or the other party that says, yeah, we gonna do this, and that, and then you give us crumbs. Which one are we mad at?
and the other
We mad.
caveat is that the Democrats were in charge in the last 4 years, and the Republicans weren't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
start off every month with my live stream. I start off the first live stream of the month with saying this, because in the last 4 years I just could I did it probably about an 80% criticism of what I think is wrong with Democrats, and obviously, when Marjorie Taylor Greene is being a clown, I'll go, hey, she's easy to laugh at, but
yeah,
or Laura Loomer or something like that. But now that the Republicans are in charge, you know, they're now the 80%, and the Democrats are the 20%.
yeah.
Well, maybe 70-30 because there's plenty wrong with the Democrats. But
yeah, same here. Like yeah, I give Trump and the Republicans I go off on them too, but yeah, like like you said, the people that's in power. I mean, would it make sense to criticize, critique them? You know what I mean? Um, yeah, yeah. A lot of these people online, man, I just I just can't take seriously. Like they always, come with their like smears and shit. Or if I criticize like on TikTok for example, if I criticize Trump, then I'm a shit lib. I'm a liberal. Then if I criticize whoever, a Democrat, then I'm a black conservative, a right winger. I'm like, I'm neither. Like I always say, I'm a independent. Like I don't like neither. Like,
yeah, and when people throw opposing allegations at somebody, usually the negative connotations of both allegations for whatever direction it's from tends to be wrong. Because
exactly.
I be called, because I haven't criticized Trump in the way I have criticized other Republicans in the past. So some people had the impression that I had a soft spot for Trump. I don't. I don't have Trump derangement syndrome that will sit there and criticize him for eating a steak with a knife and fork. No, a pizza with a knife and fork and dumping ketchup on the paint on the steak. Who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
I mean, who cares if he likes McDonald's hamburgers? It shows he likes hamburgers from McDonald's. But,
Yeah, like. Yeah, that's how it is, man. Like,
but when it comes to Insurrection Act, I would say fuck Donald Trump on the Insurrection Act. Fuck him on his authoritarian bullshit.
Yeah, I call Trump out targetively. Like, but the Insurrection Act, that's that's a fascist move by him if he, implements that up against a bunch of protesters, which. I mean, like I always say, these protests be usually peaceful until the cops come. Then that's when shit goes awry. You know what I mean? It's always like that. It's been like that with the George Floyd movement. It's like that with the pro-Palestine, movement still now. And now the ICE protests, same result.
And what's really weird about being an independent, even if you make it clear that you don't like both parties, you have some people that they will look at you and on the right and you're criticizing the Democrats and they'll still call you a Democrat. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yes, totally. On TikTok, man.
Yeah.
TikTok has two like lanes, just like Twitter. Either you got to be on the liberal side or the right or the right wing side, man. Like I remember, Ty Pearson told me one time. She said because she criticized Biden a lot when he was in office, she gained a lot of followers, and they were Trump supporters. And then they found out that she didn't support either party. Then they unfollowed her. Like, see what I'm saying? Like, because I talk about one side, people assume I'm the other side. Or like in your case, you're still a Democrat, even though you're criticizing the Democrat. That don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same. Yeah. Like,
I'll tell you what happened to. Are you familiar with The Amazing Atheist?
I heard of him before, but nah.
Yeah. Anyway, he gained by 2016. He had over 1 million subscribers, and the last few years, he's down to 940,000. He just started losing tens of thousands of people, and one of the reasons possibly he lost some of those people in 2016, he was so harsh on Hillary Clinton, so harsh on the Democrats for what they did to Bernie. And because of that, some conservatives were like, hey, we like that you go punch at the Democrats. So they started following him. And then little by little, he just started losing because, he was never a right winger, but you're so far to the left that you appear to be right wing because you're so harsh on the Democrats, and that's what happened to him, and all of that.
Yeah.
I'm still glad he did get 1 million subs, but and I hope he gets them back. So, not those right wingers, but new people,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I experienced that too. On Twitter, I lost like 300 or 400 people because I said something about Trump. So apparently, I must have a lot of right wingers that follow me at one time, but apparently some of them were mostly right wing Zionists or just plain right wingers. Like yeah,
Jimmy Jimmy Dore lost 1,000 subscribers, like in one day, when he was criticizing Trump, on the, trying in 2020, trying to do the Insurrection Act, and some of the generals are like, "No, we're not going to allow this." Back then, and I don't agree with Jimmy Dore on everything, by the way, but
me either.
in fact, less than I used to. But and I still like him, but I don't like him as much as I used to. And again,
Yeah,
he's like Kyle. He's like Kyle and the Young Turks and Sam Cedar in that regard.
yeah, yeah. About Jimmy Dore, a lot of people don't like him now, because people think he pivoted to the right, which I don't think he pivoted to the right. Now, if Jimmy Dore said, for example, like, "Hey, I'm support Trump, I support the right," then I'm saying, yeah, but
I've
as of
heard him
now,
criticize Trump.
yeah, yeah, me too. Like you said, I don't agree with Jimmy Dore on everything. I think remember that time Anna Kasparian tried to Me Too him. I was on his side with that. I said, yeah, that's fucked up. And then the guy apologized to Anna, for what he said. Stuff like that. Like I have comrades that don't like Jimmy Dore at all, which is it's their right. Everybody likes and don't like nobody. But yeah, man. I don't think he's a right winger. I think Jimmy Dore is just heavily opinionated. You know, people evolve over time. That's what I think.
Well, at first I thought he was a. There are times at first I thought he was a little harsh on burning an AOC back in 2021, 2022. I was still like in the critical support stage of burning an AOC. It was like, well, they let me down, but I gotta, I was just like that. I was like, okay, Jimmy, you're right, but lay off of them. They're trying to do the best they can. But no, Jimmy Dore was right on a lot of those things. Sometimes on some culture war issues, he can
Oh
be
yeah,
he's a little, he's not as pro trans right as I think he should be. I'm not
yeah,
saying that he should sit there and just overly praise, I mean, just treat him with respect like you would treat anybody else, Don't just
yeah,
dismiss them. That's my issue with Jimmy Dore.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, in that time he was on. That time he interviewed Cornel West. He said some things I didn't like either. Like, hey,
Same
you
here.
shouldn't talk about black issues. You should talk about the overall class. But like you know that race and class intertwines. See what I'm
He
saying?
wanted to take
So
over. He wanted to take over Cornell's campaign. That's what it was, and that's Cornell's
oh
legacy.
yeah,
You know.
I remember that. I remember that. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Jimmy Dore is just like any other commentator. They say things that might rub me the wrong way, and they say things that I agree with. But I'm not. But as long as they're consistent. See, that's the problem with a lot of commentators. Like TYT for example, they're not consistent. Like one minute, we support Bernie. Then the next minute, let's try to push Biden to the left. Then the next minute, let's talk to right wingers, even though we said um, back in 2017, 18 that we shouldn't talk to right wingers. Then in the next minute, I'm gonna make a rebellion pack, and try to get
Mm-hmm.
more progressive Democrats. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like I just don't
Shank,
understand.
yeah, Shank needs to owe Brianna Joey Gray an apology, because you ever watch TYT, the conversation where he interviewed Brianna Joy Gray and basically accused her of being right wing?
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I
Oh,
remember that.
my
That's
blood
fucked up.
pressure went through. I was like looking at Shank. I was like, "You fucking asshole," Like, and she's never, in a good way, she's never changed. Now,
Consistent.
what is he doing? Shank is sitting there palling around with Charlie Kirk and
A
people
white
like that.
nationalist, by the way.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you
Oh my
know.
god.
I mean, I don't like Tim Pool, but Tim Pool tries to sound like he's a reasonable person. He doesn't, and I don't like Tim Pool. I'm just saying I can understand you having a dialogue with him. Granted,
Okay.
do it
Yeah.
traditionally, if you're going to agree with him. But yeah, Charlie Kirk, no, he can fuck off.
Yeah, fuck him.
Toilet Paper USA can fuck off.
Yeah, look, I said this a lot. I said I have no problem. Like I agree. We should talk to right wingers, but my thing is, a white supremacist, a white nationalist is not going to talk to my black ass. You know what I mean? Like, so that's not going to work. But if a right winger that's rational, that's reasonable, we can have a dialogue. That's fine. Like I agree. We should talk to people that don't agree with us. Like obviously, if people think that, oh no, we shouldn't talk to those people at all. I'm like, you're not, you don't want nobody on your side. You know what I mean? You won't change, right? Like, you might not get them to change right off, but hopefully in the near future they'll say like, yeah, man, I thought about what you said and you're right. We need to go a different route, third party or whatnot. You see what I'm saying? So
I take a picket line approach to this. When you're when you're in a union and you're going on strike, you're not going to ask the person you're on a strike with, where do they stand on Medicare for all? Where do they stand on Palestine? Where do they stand on abortion rights? When we're all there trying to work together to get better wages and better benefits and better vacation time and better pensions. So there's that approach. And you can disagree what you want to disagree with when you're in that picket line. But with the way the Shank and Anna sucking up to Ben Shapiro, they got their nerve to criticize Glenn Greenwald or Jimmy Dore for being friendly with Tucker Carlson, who I don't like, by the way. But
right.
But at least when Tucker Carlson has Jimmy Dore or Glenn Greenwald on the show, he's not sitting there saying agree with the Fox News right wing checklist of issues. It's usually on issues where the occasional issue where the left and the right kind of agree, like a Julian Assange situation,
yeah,
or war or something along those lines. It's not, whereas Charlie Kirk wants to have Hank agree with him on their shit,
Exactly. Like, and they gave Jimmy Dore hell for talking to Tucker Carlson, but they are talking to somebody that's worse than Tucker Carlson, which is a white nationalist. So
yep. And Ben Shapiro is worse than Tucker Carlson too.
Yeah, I'm just like, that right there really got me. I'm like, so y'all basically doing the same thing that Jimmy Dore's doing, but with a worse of a human being.
Yes.
I just don't.
And then he ain't calling her a right wing. Calling her a right wing because Marjorie Taylor Greene took a tweet from Breonna Joy Gray about the FBI raids in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
She wasn't doing it because she thought that Trump was great. She was talking about eliminating the FBI because what the FBI has done to radicals and leftists over the years.
So when we say defund the police or defund the FBI, we are considered, how you say it? We're considered extremists. But she says it, not because of what we mean. She mean because, like you said, because of her God King Trump, got raided. I just, you see, that's why I don't, see Marjorie Taylor Greenes of the world, those type of people, like they're inconsistent. Like, you say one thing that sound kind of true, then the next minute, when somebody else says it, it don't mean the same thing you mean. Then you know what I'm saying, Willy. Like, I just full of shit. Basically, it's full of shit.
Yeah, they are. Do you I'm going to probably be there. Well, I got to go to work in a little bit, so I was going to wrap it up here. Is Do you have anything you want to share as far as anything relating to the ATP network, and any future projects that the network may be having? Or
Um, yeah. As for the ATP network, it's still the same schedule programming. I have my show, the Good Faith Show. I used to do a show every day, but I just um haven't been feeling like doing a show every day. So I'm gonna try to go back to doing it every day, Monday through Friday, around 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tea time is, we might not do tea time anymore because, Tired Peasant, aka Liz, she wants to do like a vlog type show. So, but we still gonna like have guests on every now and then. We plan to have Rome, Sabby, Afeni, JB. We're gonna have the occasional guests on. And that's for the A&M podcast. We've been like taking a little hiatus. Mike, he been going through a little things, but yeah. That's all. That's what's coming up. The A&M podcast and the Good Faith Show, and also, oh yeah, Thai Peasant Vlogs. That's a new thing we got going. Basically she hit record and she talk about whatever there need be. So
there you
yeah,
go. And I said I love the work the ATP network's doing. When it comes on, I try to watch it. I try to share as much as possible. So, and I wish nothing but good for the ATP network, and just let that one was it 1,400 subscribers, let it turn into 14,000 and 144,000 and 1 million. Let it happen.
same with you, Willie, man. Did you hit 1,000 yet? 1,000
I
subs?
am not quite at 1,000 yet. I'm sort of in a. I get to these little time periods where I kind of it will freeze up a little bit, and then it will then just it happens every now and then. So I'm going to get
Yeah,
up to 1,000 before the year's up. I'm trying to get there. So, and
yeah, yeah.
there's a lot of channels who has less subs than I do that are actually better than my channel. But and I knows the shadow banning, the
Oh
algorithms, the way
yeah.
it works and everything. Just
Hmm.
I mean, I give you an example. Extra Bulla. I mean, he should have 25,000 subscribers as far as I'm concerned right now. And there are other channels. Are you familiar with Trailer Park Pundit?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I know him.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Shanda, she should have more than I what was that, like 400 some people. I was like, hey, she puts quality work in what she does too. I mean, so
Yeah.
um, some of these channels that they got a very low amount. I'm just like, this is ridiculous. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, YouTube, man, like yeah, YouTube been on that BS with the algorithm. Like I noticed, like some of our videos we get 1,000, 2,000 views, and the next 3 or 4 videos we get like 5 or 6. So I'm like, that don't make any sense. Like we had people engaging with our stuff. Our click through rate was pretty good. Then all of a sudden we get 2 or 3 views. Like, but Willie, I mean, like the reason why YouTube doing that is because they don't like our commentary. Like, if we were more like dramatic based, or we were more partisan, like we were pro Democrat, pro Republican, we'll probably get thousands of subs and thousands of views. But because we talk about real things that corporate media don't, they punish us for it. So yeah, I'm gonna try to boost your channel up as much as I can too. Like you should be really at 10,000 subscribers
I
now, man. You do quality
think.
work as well. You do great
But you
work
know
too.
what? Here's the thing. What's beautiful about independent media, and I'm not talking about the necessarily the original people from a decade ago, but the new generation. We're basically the new generation, and in a way. And what's beautiful about it is we're helping each other out. So, um, and because we're all in this together. I mean, and we we all pretty much have similar visions of what our world, our country, our society, and the world should be like, and we, we have our individual little nuances that makes us all different, but in a good way, and helping each other out is, you know, in the long run, hopefully this is going to work, and I'm hopeful that one day that they will, the people that handle the algorithms will realize how wrong it is, and allow, we're anti-capitalist, but I'm gonna use this term, allow the competition to work the way it needs to work.
Yeah, need to go back to where it was back in 2015. I'll say
Yeah,
that. Like it was more
yeah,
of a merit system. Yeah.
yeah, and that's a really weird thing because the Silicon Valley and the whole the whole concept of the internet at one time was very pro free speech, and now you get your channel yanked or shadow banned if you talk about certain subjects.
Yeah, like on Twitter, I got shadow banned for a long time because I said fuck Israel. So, yeah,
Yeah,
see if I said fuck Hamas or something like that, then I probably, so yeah, like you said, like, hopefully they'll realize that yeah, we shouldn't be so hawkish on the independent media. Let's ease them off. Let's get them out a little more traction. And then one thing that's really sad too, I always ask people like, how you found the ATP network, and a lot of people said because a Thai peasant retweeted it or promoted it, or because of me I promoted it, or anybody else. Like YouTube don't even recommend our stuff. So like how we supposed to spread our truth when you're not pushing our stuff out? YouTube, like come on now. So
yeah. Well, I'm going to promote right here, everyone. You can go on the ATP network, and you just look for, just type in ATP Network 24/7 on YouTube, and you should be able to find the ATP Network. And also, as you're looking for, a same thing on Twitter, and I. I'm a little lazy about it, but I could put it down everything on the description box probably in the next day or two,
okay.
and do everything we can to, as I said, to promote each other. So you promoted me a few times on Twitter, and I appreciate it, honestly, because as I said, we're in this together. What I do on Twitter is, I once a month I have a long list of people that I think have something worthwhile to say, and I encourage everybody to follow, and I think that's another way we can help each other out. So
Yeah, I remember a lot of people used to do that stuff too, and I think we need to bring that back because,
yeah,
like you said, man, we all in this together. We all got one goal at hand, is to make the world better. Like JB said, make the world better than we found it. So
exactly. And there are people out there that they do that, they're not even social media people, that has a lot of potential. And I sit there and I tell some of these folks, you got a lot of things you said, you got a lot of worthwhile things to say. You should start your own little channel. And I don't know why. And there's some people I know that got an audience waiting for them. You know,
oh yeah.
there's some people I know that they will just explosively grow overnight, and it's wasted energy that they don't do it.
Yeah, like I told Tyre Peasant this Liz a while ago. I'm like, you got so much to give. Like, you got so much more to give beyond Twitter. Like Twitter is a good platform, but it's YouTube, that's Rockfin, that's Twitch. Like you can take that energy you have on Twitter and translate it onto these other platforms. And that's part of the reason why we have this network now, the ATP network. So yeah,
Well, I think
right.
she's doing great on Twitter. I mean, she's,
Yeah,
yeah, she does great work on Twitter. I like the questions she asks, and some of her observations. So, just I mean, I think she's doing great on Twitter, and I'm glad she had her Twitter profile returned to her. By the way,
me too, man.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We think somebody that don't like her anymore probably got her account taken off, but I'm glad it's back. And yeah, Yeah, it's sad too, Willie. Like, it's so many people that's just jealous and hateful. Like, come on, man. Like, it's just social media. Like, why you have to, because you don't like her anymore, you have to, like, do mass report her or some shit. Like people got too much time on their hands. I swear.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and there are some people that I don't like in social media. They're kind of they're on the left, but that I don't like. And Ricky Cons. There are people out there that I'm not particularly fond of, but I would never, want to sit there and try to destroy their channel or their work or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So.
Like, yeah. Same. Yeah. Same with me. I don't want to. I ain't got time to, like, mass report people. Like, for what? If I disagree with you on something, I just mute you and move on. So,
I mean, I don't even want to do that to the right wing people because they're to do that is a lot of wasted negative energy that I could
right.
do to promote the left. So
Right.
I guess I have to go to work in a few minutes and get it be on the highway. So a 38-minute drive. So it, I'll say my goodbyes to everybody here on the chat line. I'll talk to you briefly after the show, and then I guess we'll all be on our way. So yes, Commissary Kate, I will be going to work very soon. So yeah, let's see. Extra Bula is here. So let's go to the top real quick. And we got Miguel that showed up, and we got Warren that showed up, and Daniel Berry Sports Highlights showed up. Ed Heller. Ed Heller is here. We have, are you familiar with Chuck's Intergalactic UFO Show?
Yeah, I think I've seen a couple of these videos in the past.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
does great work too.
yeah. He's yeah. Chuck's a good guy.
Yeah.
We have here, right. We had Commissary Kate, and I just showed anybody else. I don't want to leave anybody out. I guess that's it there. So, everyone, I guess we'll be going now. So I want to thank Andre. Andre, thank you for showing up here on the Willy Bragg Show. I hope you'll come on back. And yeah, I enjoyed this conversation immensely. So everyone, please check out the ATP Network. And what is your Twitter handle again? Lake
Show Boy 24.
Okay. I'll remember that when I work on the description box. So, everyone, if you like what you heard, please press like and comment and share the content on this channel or anything I have on the Willy Bragg Show. As a First Amendment absolutist, it's my duty to inform you to create your own platform and utilize it because we are the muckrakers of our time. Always reject corporate media. Subscribe to the Willy Bragg Show. Subscribe to the ATP Network. Once again, let's promote independent media. And free and pardon Ed Snowden. Free Palestine. Free healthcare for all. And let's keep free speech absolutely free for everyone. Thank you, everyone. I will talk to you all later. And until next time, fuck Elon Musk. Yeah. So,
love it.
Y'all take care. Goodbye. Thank you.